G'day, kia ora, Carl here for Is It Just Me in Christchurch, New Zealand. I'm going to show you a wee clip here from the leaders' debate from 2017 between Jacinda Ardern, Bill English, and hosted by Paddy Gower. Now here in this wee clip here, I want to suggest to you underpins the whole issue, the whole origin as to why New Zealand has come to be the country it is now, as to why we have the mess we have right now throughout this nation, and how come it's been allowed to get to this point. The bottom line is we have suffered from a major, pervasive drought of integrity, aka honesty. Take a look.
A key part of leadership is trust and whether voters can trust you. So is it possible to survive politics without lying?
You can certainly earn trust. We were trusted to get New Zealand out of recession, to bring the books back into surplus. Through that period, we always said we'd protect the most vulnerable. We did what we said we would do. That's what earns trust and credibility. It's critical to leadership. And now we've got the opportunity to build on that trust and the strength of New Zealand to take us to another whole level as a better country.
Okay, but my question was, can you survive politics without lying?
Well, I bet you noticed what I did and what Paddy Gower points out, that Bill English didn't answer the question, did he? He was asked a straightforward question, can you survive in politics without lying? And he just avoided the question altogether. In fact, he made it worse in my opinion, because he said that we did what we said we would do, and that's what builds trust and credibility. Well, again, it's a half-truth, Bill, because what destroys trust and what destroys credibility are lies, and people who are liars. And you had an opportunity here to address that, and rather than telling the truth, you just avoided the question altogether, showing yourself actually to be someone untrustworthy and undeserving of credibility.
You can survive politics dealing with the situations you've got, doing the best. None of us is perfect, Paddy. None of us is perfect. But people can figure out what matters to them, whether you will do what you said you would do. We've built up a record of that, and trust in a team matters as well. I've got a great team. I trust them, they trust me.
Wow, well, I just can't help myself but comment on this. People can figure out what's important to them or not. In other words, if old Bill's telling the truth about what's important to you and lying about other stuff, hey, that's great, because as long as he's telling the truth about my stuff, that's okay. If he's lying to everyone else about what's important to them, who cares? He says, I've got a great team. They trust me. They trust me. I trust them. I mean, I don't know why they would trust each other. They sound like a whole gaggle of lying gooses by the sounds of things. So absolutely amazing, laughable, and it would be humorous if it wasn't so important, because these bunch of liars are the ones influencing our nation and wrecking our lives as New Zealanders. Why? Because we've lost touch with integrity, honesty, and truthfulness in this country from the head to the toe. Let's carry on.
Okay, well, in terms of the Todd Barclay scandal, why did you tell New Zealanders that you were, and I'll quote you here, just a bystander, when you actually sent 450 texts to the woman involved? Is truth and trust a sliding scale for you, Bill English?
No, it isn't. That was a very difficult personal dispute between two people that I happen to know, and I was very sad that it got to the point where it did. In the context of this election, that's been dealt with. We've now got plans over the next 3 years. We've built a record of doing what we said we would do, and that's what we'll do in the future.
No, trust is not a sliding scale, apparently, for Bill English. You're right. You've blown all your credibility now, mate. No one's going to believe you. You're basically showing yourself on public television that you think lying's okay and you're willing to do it where it gets you out of hot water or serves your cause, and you felt very sad about that situation. Oh dear, let's just forget all your lying, just because you felt sad about the situation. Is that what you expect the New Zealand public to believe, Bill? Anyway, where's your plans for the next 3 years, mate? Because that was 2017 and you actually lost that election. And one of the reasons you lost it is because your lack of integrity, because you lie. And not only that, you're so foolish at the time, so cocky at the time, that you baited Winston Peters with your ego, saying that Winston Peters had no other choice basically than to go with you. How did that work out for you, Bill? Okay, let's see what Jacinda Ardern's got to say about the question. Is it possible to survive politics without lying? I think you already know the answer, probably. Spoiler alert.
Okay, Jacinda Ardern, you haven't been tested on these sorts of trust issues that Bill English has been confronted with, but if you are caught in a lie or caught intentionally misleading the New Zealand public, how would you expect to be held to account?
Well, I actually believe that it is possible to exist in politics without lying and by telling the truth. I do believe that, and I have been in politics for 9 years. Yes, politicians make mistakes, but a true mark of leadership is whether you front those mistakes, be as transparent as possible with the public when you make them. That's the sign of good leadership.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man alive. Well, Patty said that you haven't been tested on this trust issue yet. Well, goodness gracious, she certainly has been now since 2017 through to 22. Goodness gracious, my goodness gracious. Interesting answer to the question. Notice she said, I actually think it is possible to survive politics without lying and telling the truth. Now, to be fair, she didn't say that she was going to survive politics by not lying and by telling the truth. She didn't say that that's what she was going to do. She actually did say that it's possible to be in politics without lying and telling the truth. Now, I happen to believe that's true as well, actually. I actually believe that we do have New Zealanders, Kiwis, men and women of integrity in our nation, who, if get the opportunity to be in Parliament, will be there without being liars and be there with telling the truth. People of integrity who you can actually trust and have credibility with. Not perfect people, no, but people of integrity who are willing to stand on the truth, tell the truth, be honest, and be genuinely transparent. As for Jacinda Ardern, I think it's clear to the whole nation of New Zealand which way she's chosen to go. It's pretty much the same old path as her running mate there, Bill English.
You've never told a lie in politics?
No, and if I have made a mistake, I've fronted it.
Well, there you have it, right before your eyes. Have you ever told a lie in politics? Next minute, big, fat, hairy lie. No, I haven't. I haven't told a lie in politics. I've been in politics 9 years and I haven't told a lie. And if I have made a mistake, that's Jacinda language, aka if I have told a lie, if I have made a mistake, I've fronted it. What a load of baloney. And you hear the clapping and applauding. People still sucking up this nonsense and guano garbage as if it's something healthy when it's just putrid, toxic politics being dished up before us and people swallowing it by the bucket loads.
You've never told a lie in politics?
No, and if I have made a mistake, I've fronted it. And I'm going to make them in the future too, Patty, let's be clear.
Well, this is a good admission of guilt prophesied by Jacinda. I'm going to make them in the future, and let's be clear, I'm going to make what in the future? Remember, I'm going to make mistakes. But remember, mistakes in Jacinda's language is the same as lies. Okay, she said, no, I've never told a lie, but if I've made a mistake, I've always fronted it up. Okay, so when Jacinda says making a mistake, she's talking about telling a lie, and she warned us well and truly beforehand, in my view, that she's going to make many of them in the future. And she certainly hasn't let us down on that promise, has she?
And I'm going to make them in the future too, Patty, let's be clear. But it's all about fronting them when you do.
No, Jacinda, it's not all about fronting them when you get caught out in your mistake or your lie. It's actually about being a person of integrity, an honest character who tells the truth, does not lie, and is committed to not being a false witness and standing up for your country, representing your country, when truthfulness and honesty for the sake and welfare and benefit of all New Zealanders. You see, folks, This is what I believe is at the roots, the whole issue of why New Zealand is in the way it is, because we have failed to put people of integrity, honesty and character into the New Zealand government. We have put people into this position, and we've come to believe and accept and even tolerate that our politicians are liars, and we enable that belief every time we've been voting at the box office. The ballot box. The box office, yes, it's more like an entertainment system at the ballot box. So New Zealand's not going to change or recover, folks, until we get these liars out of government and put some decent, honest people of integrity in there. Are there any out there? Are there enough to fill government? I don't know. Only time will tell. Anyway, is it just me, or do we need honest, truthful politicians of integrity leading our nation? Thanks for watching. Aranui Matewa. Bye.